Hey guys, Eric and Roth here at New York Comic Con. We wanted to talk about last night's Arrow Season 3 premiere, though. Full spoilers, so if you haven't seen this episode, you really don't want to hear this right now. Let's go, though. Well,
what
I
was
know.
my reaction, because you had already seen it and knew that this was coming, and by the end of the episode my jaw was on the floor. I couldn't believe they did that.
Yeah, it was.
How could you do that to us?
It was when I saw the Arrow premiere at a press event, and when the Mark Guggenheim, the executive producer, walked in afterwards, we all, having fun, we all booed him, and I yelled murderer. Yeah, so poor Sarah.
I know, and I get it. I mean, I really understand story-wise why they've made this choice. They sort of had to definitively, maybe they felt like last year her exit wasn't enough because fans were still like, maybe she'd still come back and be Canary. Now they're like, no, really, she's not. We're moving on, and it's going to be Laurel, and that's the story reason. However, I loved Sarah. Yeah,
I did too. I thought she was a great character. I thought she was a lot of fun last season, and I am sad that they killed her off. I would have preferred her to be out there in the world and she could pop up now and again.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like they can both exist. Let's coexist.
But yeah, I mean, it seems pretty clear that this will be the big motivation for Laurel to become Canary.
And it's really funny because last year it's like she handed off the jacket, and again I feel like they were just like, okay, well that wasn't enough because and Joshua mentioned well, she's back in the jacket. What did she sneak into Laurel's apartment and
she had a
take
few
it?
jackets. She had a few of them.
Not ready for this. But then they had the mask dramatically fall off and land near Laurel, but boo.
I did think it was a really strong premiere overall. I think the show is, last year it obviously really found itself. It was a fun premiere. The new Count Vertigo was fun. But I do, on the death of Sarah thing, it's a whodunit. It's a mystery.
Right.
What is your first thought?
Oh, come on. Ross
Al Ghul?
Yeah.
That's my first thought, but then I thought it's too
Then
easy.
You immediately dismissed it, right?
And then I dismissed it.
Because it's like Clue. It's never going to be the first one you think of.
Right, because we know he's coming. That's out there. They've announced the casting. But I don't think it's going to be him. And some other people in the comments were saying one that I thought that would be pretty interesting and messed up, which is Thea. Yeah, because we know Thea took off with her dad. We think he's been training her.
So messed up.
It's going to be like Dark Thea coming.
And she's sending these fake emails from
right.
That's so messed up. I like it a lot. Yeah.
So that's another interesting theory. We'll see. It could be neither of those characters.
It could be nice. Yeah, it could be.
There's
maybe
a lot
it's Felicity.
Maybe it's Felicity.
It's not Felicity. We love her.
Yes, and this this premiere certainly worked with the fact that we love her and Oliver loves her, but they can never be, or until the end of the show.
Do you feel like it too quickly was like? Do you feel like it too quickly went there and back? You know what I mean? Rather than either just going there for a period of time and then having
because they had the huge swerve of hey, I'm going to take Felicity out on a date and I cannot be with someone right in the premiere. Maybe it would have been better if that took a few episodes, but because I think they wanted such big stuff to happen in the premiere, that's why they did front load it maybe a little more than they needed to. But
It's funny, I got a tweet and they were saying, I really hated the pacing. I thought that the pacing worked for the most part. It was sort of building towards this big moment at the end, and the rest of it was really about Oliver reconciling himself, literally seeing himself as his worst fear and those kinds of things. Although at the end of the day, once he had reconciled himself to that, I was like, well, you're over it now. See, you can go have a life.
Yeah, but now Sarah's dead. There's going to be a lot of angst coming with that. I really liked Ray Palmer, Brandon Routh.
He was great. Yeah. He was great. He was funny. He was a great addition. He has a different energy, because Oliver is so dreary a lot of the times, quite frankly, and Felicity adds a lot of the light, and so I think that that's a really nice balance. You can understand where they're meeting. They're sort of similar, and
he's a character that's definitely got an ego and kind of full of himself, but you like him.
You immediately like him.
It's a hard mixture to pull off that I think that they do really well with that character. We'll see where it goes, though.
I think it's because Brandon Roth is so likable. Yeah, he really is.
Yeah, and I think it's for people who I know Superman Returns is such a sort of polarizing movie, but I think I'm glad to see him come on this and just kind of nail it. Yeah. I think it'll maybe have some people realize hey, this is a very likable guy. So that's what we thought about the Arrow premiere. We're going to be in mourning for a while, but let us know what you thought in the comments. Who do you think killed Sarah? Are you okay with Sarah being dead?
How quickly can we kill the people who killed Sarah?
Hey. Well, the character. The character, Roth. For many things, Arrow, keep it here at IGN.